cut yourself some slack. I'm trying to do this, but I can't see. But don't let yourself off the hook. The hook was supposed to stay in my mouth. Why? Well, our idiom today for Supersize Your Business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to What You Up To Now. I'm documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business, and a little bit of back and forth in 2021 and beyond. Why? Because I missed the offline world of business, especially in 2020 during COVID-19. Just like everybody else, my heart belongs to the offline world and to corporate America. But my profession over the last couple of years has been to do work online, do everything remotely, which worked out perfectly when COVID-19 hit for me, COVID-19, even though it happened in 2020, because I was already set up, I was already prepared, I was already doing things remotely, I was already doing videos, I was already doing Zoom, I was already doing conference calls, I was already doing masterminds and things remotely and online and on the internet. And a lot of businesses were not in that position, and they found themselves shut down, their income immediately eliminated, and scrambling to figure out what to do. Well, today, and our idiom for Supersize Your Business, every day I do a piece of content for my Supersize Your Business group and page called, it's not called anything, it's just I share an idiom, what it means, where it came from, and how they might be able to apply it to their business, and maybe even sometimes our lives. And I didn't talk about today cutting yourself some slack. I talked about how does it apply to your business, how can you use it, why do you want to cut people slack, but I didn't say anything about cutting yourself some slack. Maybe because I talk about that in other episodes, but it's an important reminder that we need to give ourselves a break. For example, I woke up really late this morning for me. I overslept. I didn't oversleep for the time I went to bed, but I overslept for the time I normally like to get up in the morning. And I'm beating myself up mentally and then rushing around trying to get caught up and get things done. And I'm like, okay, I can't ever make up that many hours of a day I would normally get up. But what difference does it make? I set my own schedule. I didn't miss any appointments. I didn't miss any obligations. It's perfectly fine. So instead of beating myself up about oversleeping, because I didn't really oversleep. I think I slept 5 hours, which 5 hours is not oversleeping in my book anymore. And so we need to remember that we need to not only be open and fair and honest and treat other people well, but we need to treat ourselves well too. We need to apply the same rules to everybody, including ourselves. If we have high expectations of other people, well, we certainly better have high expectations of ourselves. And what I mean by don't let ourselves off the hook is because we can get to the point, it's always a balance in everything in our lives, right? We can cut ourselves slack a lot. We can cut ourselves too much slack. We can let ourselves off the hook all the time, but then we're not holding ourselves accountable and responsible for creating the life that we want. So there's a balance between cutting ourselves some slack, not expecting ourselves to be perfect and do everything right the first time and get everything done in an impossible clip, and continually moving toward our goals and objectives and holding ourselves accountable to be moving toward the things that we want and creating the things that we want, and not just settling for the way things are. Now, the way things are is just the way things are right now. Doesn't mean we have to settle for keeping them this way, but we have to be grateful for and accept what is right now. So there's this huge overall energetic balancing that we are always doing in absolutely everything and every aspect of our life. So that was our idiom today for Supersize Your Business. It's something in my eye, never fun. Our challenge, our annual challenge this year is all about you, all about us, all about getting to know ourselves and what is important to us, what makes us tick, what works for us, what doesn't, what feels good to us, what doesn't. Just really getting in tune with who we are, what we want, where we're going, and why we're doing it. So we're doing the one thing every day that centers us from Little Journal Book to one thing every day that centers you. And today was about life isn't meant to be easy. Now, when I was a little girl, my dad taught my sisters and I, and since there were 4 of us, there were lots of opportunities and learning lessons available to realize that life is not fair. One sister would get something and another wouldn't. One sister would, win an award and the other 3 of us wouldn't. Or one sister would get an opportunity and the other 3 of us wouldn't. And so there were a lot of opportunities and examples for us to learn that life is not fair. Well, lots of us believe that life is meant to be easy. And there's a whole push in the world right now to let people think that life is just easy and you just go with the flow and you live off the government or whatever, and it's just supposed to be easy and everybody is supposed to be and get the exact same thing. That's called socialism or communism, and in communism and socialism everybody doesn't get the same thing. There's still always a group in power that gets a heck of a lot more, and they usually get everything, and then everybody else shares in the meager amount that they decide to share with the people. So life isn't meant to be fair. Life isn't fair. It just isn't. It never was meant to be fair. It's meant to be a reflection of what you contribute to the world. What you put into the world is what you get back out of the world. So if you're not contributing anything, if you're not doing anything, if you're not making the world a better place, then your life is probably not going to be or feel like it's better. Life was never meant to be easy. It's meant to be lived. It's meant to be experienced. It's meant to be what we make of it. It's meant to be a whole lot of things, but I don't think easy was ever in the description. And I think we should probably have figured that out when we were born, because I don't think the birth process in and of itself is something that anyone would consider easy. At least no women that have ever given birth would ever think that the birth process is easy, or raising a human is easy. So that was our idiom our idiom was cut someone some slack, and life is not meant to be easy, and then sharing a challenge that we met today, because I don't know about you, but every single day presents opportunities and challenges and change. I call challenges opportunities. I love the word challenge. When I hear the word challenge, I get excited. A lot of people hear the word challenge and they hear problem, stop, no, roadblock. I hear, what can we do now? What are we going to do about this? This is an opportunity. And because I approach challenges that way, I think I have a much better outcome of the challenges and the changes that I face in my life than a whole lot of other people do, because they focus on and see the problem, whereas I focus on and see the solution. Or how am I going to respond to this? What am I going to do about it? Yeah, it happened. Probably can't do anything about it. I don't know anybody personally that could do anything about COVID-19 and the way it was handled and the way it's impacted our lives. I think we all were in a position where we had to respond to it and figure out what we were going to do to continue to move toward what it is that we want, no matter what's going on around us. So that is our life is not meant to be easy. Next Get Up and Go Challenge, free 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge, will be starting August 1st. Now, I just found out I'm going to be having my granddaughter that weekend, so we'll figure it out. I always figure it out. I've got plenty of notice, so I'll plan it out and figure it out ahead of time. Make sure she's either napping or not crying, or I may very well be recording with a small human being on my lap, but hopefully you won't see her. Or if you do, she's adorable, so maybe that's okay too. Although I think we're keeping her off social media, just like my other granddaughter. And I personally find that extremely wise of their parents, because the world is getting goofier and goofier and more bizarre at every turn, which I guess it's always been that way. I think people, if you were to go back to any time and ask them what's going on in the world, some people would of course think it's marvelous and progressive. Other people would be screaming about how bad it is and how terrible it is and it's the end of the world and why should we have children, because our children have to go into this world that we've created, yada 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 ad nauseum. So next Get Up and Go Challenge, August 1st through 31st, of course, because it's always a 30+ day challenge. Gonna share, I'm actually getting excited about it. I'm always excited about it, but I'm super excited because it's been a couple of months and I miss it. It's the reason I have mornings like this morning where I wake up at a time that I never usually sleep to and I'm like ready to beat myself up, because I haven't been focusing on the Get Up and Go Challenge. For me personally, is all about making progress toward what I want a teeny bit every single day, and on purpose, and setting things up, systems and processes and procedures, also known as habits and rituals and routines, and things in my life that guarantee I'm making progress toward those things automatically all the time. Now in April I set up some of those things. It's the last time we did the 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge, and continuing to do those, but as 3 months go by, they feel like they're losing some of their potency, some of their strength, some of their energy behind them. So that's why I'm excited to get into the next challenge. So I'm going to share tools, strategies, things that I've been doing for years that I never shared with anybody, as well as and I'm going to actually set a timer this time. I've set it every time I've done the challenge. I'm going to keep it to 10 minutes or less per video, and I will. I'm going to set, I've got a cow-shaped timer I gave my daughter for Christmas. and Christmas. Anyway, I got a cow-shaped timer. Maybe I just was on my last trip I gave it to her, but we got a cow-shaped timer sitting on the stove. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to use it so each day's lesson will be 10 minutes or less, or I'm going to be bleeped and cut off in the middle, and I won't be able to catch it up till the next day. Now, doesn't mean I won't add bonus videos to go more in depth on topics that are important, or to give better, more detailed examples if you want to see them or have them. But it'll be all about what you want. I've done it 7 times now and taken myself through it and changed and morphed and improved it every time. So I love the way it goes. I love the way I feel as I go through the challenge and finish the challenge every time. But this time I want it to be more focused on everything you need to get out of it, so that you have a process installed in your subconscious that guarantees whenever a change or challenge comes your way, you will deal with it better than if you didn't have the process installed in your subconscious. It's like when we learn how to do something. Once we learn how to do it, it can never really be taken away. I think of things like riding a bike, driving a car. No matter how long you go without driving a car or riding a bike, you can get right back on, and you have that skill forever. And I want this to be a skill and a talent and an ability. I don't know if it's a natural talent or ability, but it's something we can all learn. None of us are born knowing how to do anything, right? Understand or learn. We learn everything. And this is just one more thing we can learn and install and use for the rest of our life. And that's a big promise, but I guarantee if you go through the 30 days, if you do the little bitty action item every day, every single day, it's just a little thing. It doesn't take but a few minutes, less minutes usually that I talk, less than 10 minutes a day. You will come out of that challenge with a built-in change and challenge. I should name it something, a change and challenge filter that everything goes through, and your subconscious automatically gives you better options and better results than if you hadn't got that process down. All right, that's it. I am going to my mom's today. I'm going to go spend some time with my mom today and hang out, I'm sure, with my granddaughter and family. Weekends are for family, right? For hanging out with family and friends, as well as doing a little bit of work. I only do a little bit of work on the weekends these days. I think the older I get, the less time I devote to doing things that I did in the past, except for things I love to do. All right, if I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow to let you know what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world, and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Have a great day.